I die today, I'ma go and get some money. If I die today, I'ma go and get some money. If I die today, if I die today.
Cold flows for a cold mind, see a new world, but I'm so blind. Kick rocks when your time's up, better start digging like a coal mine. Cold heart, seen cold times, it's a bold move, but the sunshine raise up when you...
Good morning, Cardano family. It's your boy Satoshi Boomin coming at you with yet another video, guys. Go ahead, do all the things the algorithm likes for me, please. Up on the screen, we have our wonderful Patreon subscribers: DSE Vel, Angeltopia, Crypto SVT.si, Kyle Bachi, Fru's Den, Anthony Andrews, Maryland Crypto, Kragan, Alflair LLC, and Yuri Learman. Thank you so much, guys. Go ahead, click the button down below, the Patreon button. Do it. Get your name up on here. Help your boy out with $3 a month. That'd be nice. Let's move on, guys. Let's go ahead and address Flicto again, guys. Real quick, I want to say, please, I denounce anybody harassing these people, all right? Do not be harassing these people. Do not be blowing these people up. Do not be mean to these people, okay? It's not cool. It's not civilized. Harassing is not going to bring them back to the fold. Don't do it, all right? So I'm sorry about the Flicto team. If you guys experienced any harassment or anything like that, it's not cool. I don't think you should be doing that. But now we're here. Flicto has put out another statement. I think it's only fair that we go ahead and read it. Now, let's just go on and say and hear what they have to say, and then we'll go ahead and play a few minutes, not everything, of the video they released a couple days ago, just to hear what they have to say. I think it's fair that I play that as well. So below are the facts, the frequently asked questions from our blog and live yesterday. And the main question is, did you scam us all? And this is what they have to say, guys. You can make your own decisions on this. I want to hear what you think down below. I really love to hear what you guys have to say about this. So they say, did you scam us all? Absolutely not. While Flicto has had its problems, the mission and vision of Flicto has always been true, and every single member of the team is working tirelessly to make this a reality. Disrupting the media industry was never going to be easy, even less so during a bear market. And ultimately, the project needed to earn revenue in order to be able to fund projects. They go on to say, why didn't you inform of this sooner? They were trying to get on board external investments, as previously communicated to the community. While the financial position within Flicto is not great, under the new leadership and board, there was a real possibility of us launching the first round of voting and funding some of the projects without issue. However, recent market events made it possible. The initial hibernation idea was suggested right after the Luna crash. Okay, so the board voted on Monday the 16th, and now they are in hibernation. They go on to talk about the Flick token here. The Flick token remains on Cardano. The utility will change during hibernation phase. There will be no Flicto platform and no projects to vote on. There will also not be launching Flick for Flick staking due to no longer having employed engineers. So if you didn't know what happened yesterday, they fired everybody from Flicto. As a part of the Flicto hibernation, the platform has been shut down. Data will be deleted from the Flicto platform on April 19th, 2022. So I think that might be a typo. So yeah, guys, I just wanted to let you know. Oh, and this here says that they fired everybody. Okay. And then Flicto says that they're going to come back during the next bull run, but right now they're going to be focused on crypto marketing and crypto innovation. I don't know what that means, but they're probably coming back with some new entities. Now, this is the big one. You mentioned former co-founders and illegal transfers in the announcement. So I'm just going to read what they got to say. While we cannot go into too much detail, during an ongoing police investigation, there was an incident that led to the early release of 200 million Flick tokens to a co-founder that has not been a part of the team since February. It's our understanding that this individual wanted to sell Flick at any cost to help fund a new project they're associated with in the Cardano space. And yeah, so they post here, will you be giving our money back? The best way to retain value on Flick is to work with the team as they embark on new initiatives already mentioned while the project is a hibernation. The community will be involved in our roadmap planning as this will begin in the coming days. While the board did explore ways to potentially compensate investors, there's simply not enough capital available to make this a worthwhile exercise. Crypto investing is a highly unregulated, high-risk activity, even more so for a project as Flicto that is trying something like no other in the space. With the other option, Flicto is being complete project closure and exit. We feel that by trying to build a new primary business model that stands a chance of delivering community some financial value, we stand a chance of delivering some return on your investment. Crypto projects fail all the time, but rather than exit and leave, yeah. So that was their statement, guys. I just want to hear what you got to say down below, and then we're gonna play a few minutes of this. Not too long. Let's go play a few minutes of this. Let's see what they have to say.
I'm Sobhan, the head of business development at Flicto, and ultimately this conversation is, well, it's a conversation and AMA for two reasons. Is with the market crash that occurred a week ago, coupled with our impending voting round at Flicto, we thought that now would be, well, we've been discussing this for a while, and I think it was a decision made at an actual board meeting where the board had decided to look to liquidate the legal structure that is Flicto and look for a pivot where we could play to our strengths as an organization. It was a decision made at an actual board trying to fund media projects which at the time were unsustainable for the business model due to the amount of time taken for an investment for a movie to be recouped. But through all of these realizations and the board voting on that decision, it wasn't all bad news in a way, because we figured out a potential solution, a way that we can pivot away in a low cost way that could potentially one day recoup money for investors and help to build up that mission of Demi and build up Flicto to what it could have been. But the reasons that we've got here are really outlined in the blog, and we can go into more detail about them. Rob, I don't know if you're happy for me to go into more detail about them?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a good starting point. Yeah. So in case that kind of wasn't clear to anyone, while the recent market downturn, I say downturn, it's been down for a long while, but the recent additional crash is one of the pivotal reasons for this. There's lots of kind of other issues in the back end that this seeks to solve as well. The blog post is called Memorandum. We'll update that title to make it kind of clearer. But in essence, the core Flicto project is seeking to go into hibernation. And when we talk about hibernation and what does that kind of mean, the first voting that was due to happen on the platform is unable to go ahead. In essence, there's just not enough funds after everything that's happened to make that even a remote possibility. As it stands at the moment, the entirety of the Flicto team has been let go. There are currently no employees of Flicto anymore, and people are obviously in their various notice periods and things like that. But to kind of show the gravity of the situation, that's kind of what's had to happen. Sobhan?
Yeah. So I was just having a look at the Telegram community. So initially, one of the first points that we made was that we had poor market conditions from the early days, but we have our sort of an impasse at the moment where if we don't act fast, Flicto would have been forced into bankruptcy, which would mean that we would lose the assets that make Flicto what it is, whether that's the intellectual property, or whether that's the communities and the social media, which would mean a total end to Flicto as opposed to a hibernation or a pivot, which is what's currently going on. Suboptimal fiscal planning. Now, this is prior to events which led to the implementation of a finance department and an interim board. But prior to that, it was finances handled by a single individual, which led to oversight in the finances. And I think it's not necessarily anyone's fault, but a lack of planning in an organizational sense. Now, the next part of this, which is probably the biggest factor that's led to this, is the illegal transfer of 200 million Flick tokens to former co-founder Theo Bailey when he exited the company. And he was then actually selling these Flick tokens on MuesliSwap, which caused that price crash that we all saw a week or so ago. But we were actually trying to seek legal proceedings. We had contacted the police, and we can get on to more about this, and we have contacted the police to let them know that essentially Theo had threatened Sid, who some of you know as Sid, whose real name is Sadir Singh, for his family, and threatened to come to his house in a voice note, which we've shared to our ambassadors. And then this was actually once the interim board was established, it was being told to Sid, to Cam, because Cam was the director at the time of the transaction. So it was Sid, who was a convicted fraudster, and you have Cam, who also knows Sid from prior, alongside Theo, who essentially orchestrated the movement of 200 million Flick tokens from the Flicto account to Theo's account. And ultimately Theo has gone on to use this for another project, Demu. I don't know whether you've heard this. He's been shouting about it on social media, DEMU. And it's quite this has led to us as an organization, the team, facing a £500,000 tax bill, right? And I think this is what really sort of upset us as a team, was Sid's decision, Cam's decision, and Theo's decision had basically led to us having to let go of 28 people. And I think it goes to the sentiment of those individual selfishness, but I also think it's important to note that is the biggest reason for us having to go down the route of liquidating Flicto, is we wouldn't be able to pay a £500,000 tax bill in September when it's due, and it's more effective for us to take this approach and to keep the project.
So they mentioned the 200 million Flick tokens being stolen was by a guy named Theo Bailey here. We found this on the Cardano Reddit. I tried to go to Twitter, but the Twitter account was suspended, so I don't know what's going on here. It looks like they funneled that cash into this project, Demo Protocol here. So just be aware of this project here, guys. I haven't done my research on it. I don't know what's going on. But, you know, if you are part of this project, just be careful, okay? And, you know, we'll see, you know, what happens in the future. I'm not going to be covering this project. I don't know what the heck's going on. So, yeah, I'm just reporting the news to you guys. Sad to see Flicto going down, but stuff happens in crypto, and it's unfortunate, but you know, we'll see what comes of them. Probably not going to cover them again unless anything major comes out, unless you guys want me to continue to cover this. It's probably the end, but I thought it'd be fair to, you know, just give them their side, and, you know, let me know what you guys think down below. Let's go ahead and move on, guys. We got a short little clip here from the wonderful World Mobile Token. Shout out to them. They're trying to get Africa connected. Let's take a look at Airnodes.
So what's an Airnode? An Airnode is just a basic access point with some router features in there that supports OpenWRT and that can install the Airnode software that World Mobile provides. After that very simple process, anybody can provide connectivity to their surroundings. A coffee shop, a local businessman, or even a person that wants to install an Airnode in their apartment can get a small income from every connection, from every megabyte of data that goes through your Airnode. That's how, through this very affordable device, anybody can create their own business and participate in the sharing economy that World Mobile provides through the Airnodes. So
Pretty
what's
cool.
an Airnode?
That's,
An Airnode is just a basic
another product
access
from
point.
World Mobile Token to try to get them up and running here. It's pretty cool, guys. We are expanding throughout Africa. So excited. And this is just the beginning. Cardano is here to stay for the long haul, and I'm going to be here every single step of the way with you guys. I love y'all. Don't let your means be dreams. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow with the Vechain and Cardano updates. Have an amazing day. Goodbye.